Many people abhor city parking officers who often seem to engage in a game of cat and mouse, waiting for unsuspecting drivers to leave their cars momentarily before issuing parking tickets. While some argue that this practice is justified, as drivers should respect parking regulations, others believe that certain parking officers can take enforcement too far and sometimes lack empathy and understanding. The tension between drivers and parking officers can escalate into unnecessary contentious conflicts, benefiting no one. Drivers have a responsibility to obey traffic rules, and if violations occur in the presence of an officer, it helps if the officer lends a sympathetic ear. While the officer need not agree or waive the ticket, it is worthwhile to avoid a verbal confrontation and to do everything possible to de escalate situations that appear to be spiraling out of control. It is important to remember that we are all dealing with human beings, not just numbers. Abhor. To regard with disgust and hatred. City parking officers, officials employed by the city to enforce parking regulations and issue fines for violations. A game of cat and mouse. A situation in which one party tries to outwit or outmaneuver another, often involving constant pursuit or evasion. Unsuspecting drivers. Drivers who are unaware or not anticipating that they might face a penalty or problem, often because they have not noticed parking regulations or enforcement. Issuing parking tickets. The act of providing a formal notice or fine to a driver for violating parking regulations. This practice is justified. The belief that the action or behavior in question is reasonable or warranted under the circumstances. Parking regulations. Rules set by authorities governing where and how vehicles can be parked, including time limits and prohibited areas. Enforcement. The act of ensuring that laws or rules are followed, often by imposing penalties for non-compliance. Empathy. The ability to understand and share the feelings of another person. Tension. Mental or emotional strain or stress that can arise from conflicting interests or situations. Escalate. To increase in intensity or severity, often referring to a conflict or situation that grows more serious. Contentious conflicts, disputes, or disagreements that are likely to provoke strong arguments or controversy. Traffic rules. Regulations that govern how vehicles and pedestrians should behave on the road to ensure safety and order. Violations. Actions that break or disregard established rules or laws. Lends a sympathetic ear. To listen with understanding and compassion, showing that one cares about another's situation. Need not agree or waive the tickets indicates that while the officer does not have to approve the driver's argument or cancel the fine, they can still show consideration. Avoid a verbal confrontation. To prevent or steer clear of a heated argument or dispute involving spoken communication. To de-escalate situations. To reduce the intensity of a conflict or problem, making it less severe or dramatic. Spiraling out of control refers to a situation that is becoming increasingly chaotic or unmanageable. Analyze. Many people abhor city parking officers who often seem to engage in a game of cat and mouse, waiting for unsuspecting drivers to leave their cars momentarily before issuing parking tickets. Meaning, many individuals strongly dislike city parking officers because they appear to be constantly trying to catch drivers off guard. They wait for drivers to quickly leave their cars before issuing parking tickets. While some argue that this practice is justified, as drivers should respect parking regulations, others believe that certain parking officers can take enforcement too far and sometimes lack empathy and understanding. Meaning, some people believe that the parking officer's actions are reasonable because drivers should follow parking rules. However, others think that some parking officers overstep their authority and do not show enough compassion or understanding. Drivers have a responsibility to obey traffic rules. And if violations occur in the presence of an officer, it helps if the officer lends a sympathetic ear, meaning drivers must follow traffic rules. If they break these rules while an officer is present, it is helpful if the officer listens with understanding. While the officer need not agree or waive the ticket, it is worthwhile to avoid a verbal confrontation and to do everything possible to de-escalate situations that appear to be spiraling out of control. Meaning, the officer does not have to agree with the driver or cancel the ticket, but it is important to avoid arguing and to try to calm down situations that seem to be getting out of hand. It is important to remember that we are all dealing with human beings, not just numbers, meaning it is crucial to keep in mind that everyone involved is a person with feelings and not just a statistic or a number. Test. What is the general sentiment towards city parking officers expressed in the text? What do some people believe about the practice of issuing parking tickets? What do others think about certain parking officers' behavior? What can the tension between drivers and parking officers lead to? What is a driver's responsibility according to the passage? What does the text suggest is helpful if violations occur? What should be avoided according to the passage? What should be done to manage escalating situations? How does the text suggest we view others in these situations? What does the text imply about the impact of human interactions on conflicts? Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Please like, share, and subscribe for more videos like this.